The New Map, Energy, Climate and the Clash of Nations by Daniel Yergin is a book that examines the intersections between energy, climate, and geopolitics. The book is divided into three parts. Part 1 examines the current energy and environmental landscape, Part 2 looks at the implications of the energy transition, and Part 3 looks at the global implications of a transition to a low-carbon world. In Part 1, Yergin examines the energy and environmental landscape, noting that the world is facing a quadruple transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources, from centralized grids to more distributed energy sources, and from a world of carbon-based energy to a low-carbon world. He also examines the various forces driving the transition, such as climate change, technological change, and policy shifts. In Part 2, Yergin looks at the implications of the energy transition on geopolitics, noting the increasing importance of energy security, the emergence of new energy powers, and the potential for new forms of conflict and cooperation. He examines the implications of the transition for the global economy, noting that while many countries are pursuing the transition, there are also economic and geopolitical risks associated with it. In Part 3, Yergin looks at the global implications of a transition to a low-carbon world. He examines the potential for international cooperation, noting the need for countries to come together to reduce emissions and address climate change. He also examines the potential for new forms of conflict and competition, noting the importance of understanding the geopolitical implications of the transition. Overall, Yergin's book provides an in-depth look at the intersection between energy, climate, and geopolitics. He argues that the transition to a low-carbon world is necessary, but also poses risks and challenges that must be addressed. He recommends that countries come together to reduce emissions and address climate change, while also recognizing the potential for new forms of conflict and competition. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in.